everybody.
Good evening.
First thing we do, call the meeting to meeting
Split
order.
chairs. Can't vote.
You may get assigned to a committee, but
I'm gonna have, what's it there?
you've been doing this a long time. All right, previous meetings minutes have been distributed. Any comments?
No comment.
Is there a motion to approve as?
I'll make a motion to approve as.
Don't think you're a voting member as of yet.
Okay. Motion to approve?
Second,
And the discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You're allowed to do an administrative when there wasn't, if there wasn't.
Okay.
Warren, if there wasn't, if they didn't show up, you would be allowed to go through and do anything administratively,
Okay.
but not vote on anything except for the site plan. Thank you. So that is approved. Treasurer's report.
Yes, I looked at the proposed budget. And it's recommending a 7.1% increase for wages, which I think is exclusively grant Lawrence Roll.
Yes.
It doesn't show how that number was arrived at, but it seems fairly reasonable to me.
I can provide that supporting documentation. I mean, that's based off of the offer for employment and what was accepted.
The only other thing I'll mention is that this year's budget is for wages, in fact, it's close, maybe almost perfect. However, if I calculated the number of weeks remaining incorrectly, then we could be a little bit short,
Okay.
and I'll refine that.
Yep.
But if that means boosting it by 5%, that's what we should do just to be safe. I'll give it back too much.
Mhm. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Plans report. It's been distributed. Any comments, updates?
I don't have anything to add at this point. I submitted it early, so I forget what was on it. Can't usually come with it at the top of my mind, but I'm sure if there were any questions, I could recall.
All right, any questions on the plans report? Kathy, you mentioned something last time.
I know I didn't usually start that.
Great.
I'll let you know, Mike, if I find anything.
Okay, the first thing is we received a modification to a site plan for cell tower on 87 North Street. We voted on it and there were conditions.
Yeah.
They have met, as far as I know, 3 of the conditions at least. Let's take a look at them. Since this is a modification, there was one
Well, these were in my, in the chair, in my review memo to the zoning board. I highlighted the conditions here.
one
These are the ones that
1
were
and 3 have already been done as far as I'm.
Yeah, so these were the only ones that were being contested, is 2, 4, and 5. 1 and 3 were not being contested, because they, have been complied with.
I got number 2.
So number 2, as, if you notice, there was a detailed letter from the, I don't know if I brought it up or not yet, but, from the building commissioner. Yeah, from the building commissioner, and basically, I mean, the long and short of it's a very long letter, but determining that there is compliance with frontage
In Westboro.
in Westboro. And you know, there was quite a bit of frontage, actually. The plan that was submitted showed you on the plan a narrow bit of 50 feet or whatever, showing a connection to Adams Street in Westboro. But the property owner, Casa Builders, owns a lot more contiguous parcels along that stretch, which gives you, I think it was in excess of 300 linear feet of frontage. That compiled with a bunch of other arguments laid out by the building commissioner in reference to 40A, all led to pointing the finger at compliance.
And so all we need to ensure compliance is a recordable signature from or note from Westboro.
One of your other conditions was that the signature line for the Westboro Planning Board be placed on the site plan, and that has been provided to you.
One of the problems that I had with this was that it's no access in Upton, but it's an Upton business, which means an Upton police report if anything went on. Cell towers have approximately a 10 times more frequency of accidents than a regular business. 63% of all cell tower workers have seen an accident in their employment. It's just a tough business. So my thing was, who answers first? We have to write the police report, but who gets there first? It would have to be Westboro that would get there first with emergency vehicles. That means it's a locked gate. Somebody needs that. So both towns need access to the gate. Has to be big enough for a fire truck to get in there. And that's all comes from Westboro. So we don't have to worry about a thing. Just put Westboro signatures block on there and they'll take care of it. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yep, sure does.
Has Westboro approved, right? Westboro hasn't acted on this yet, have they? But we're putting it on their lap with this last provision, with item number
We're
4.
giving them access.
Yeah.
Yes, they're the job, their job is to determine safe and adequate access, not us, coming through their town.
Yeah.
But it's, our job is we have the relief from our zoning board, so the zoning board says we don't have to access it through Upton's frontage, which is the rule. So they gave one relief for Upton, now they just need Westboro so that they can get in there safely. If he falls down, we can take care of it.
And through the chair, condition number 5 is just, I mean, that was noted as just a reference to your bylaws regarding wireless anyway. It was just put in there as basically a reminder. So they're asking for that to be removed. As I noted in my review memo, I'm totally fine with it being removed and in favor of being removed. It being removed doesn't eliminate compliance with that provision of your bylaw if it is required.
That's similar to number 3 or whatever it was, that this is not an original filing, this is a modification. All those things have to be set up with bonds and access clauses and what's at the original filing.
Yep.
It's not done at the modification.
No.
So I'm fine with that as well.
Yeah.
Any questions, any other comments? It's almost time for 130 South Street. Do you have the 130 South Street?
130 South
So
Street.
there's nothing for us to vote on this one.
I mean, I would, you don't have in your bylaw, the site plan bylaw, there, it states that the appeals process of a decision of a site plan through this board goes to the zoning board of appeals, which it did. The zoning board issued a determination. I thought it'd be good to bring it back to this board to inform you of that decision. If you'd like to formally recognize it in some way, I think that'd be good, but there's no there was nothing that said that you then have to do it. I mean, does this board consider the Board of Appeals action to be sufficient in removing those conditions from them?
That condition, the
Yeah.
condition of
Those
Upton zone, Upton has a zoning requirement in its bylaw.
Yes.
Access your business through the lot in Upton, or road in Upton. We're only waiving that. We're only allowing that because we were granted relief. It still doesn't give them access to their business, which is the planning board reporting position and not a zoning.
Does, through the chair, can I ask if Attorney Pear is on the line?
Sure.
Is it, I see a 401 number, and Ed, are you on?
I am.
Is there anything you'd like to offer to the board?
Well, I mean, we've appealed the conditions to the zoning board, and they granted our relief pursuant to the zoning bylaw. So, you know, whether it's recognized or the modification to the site plan, those conditions have been deleted by the planning board, by the zoning board, at least the 3 that we appealed.
Yeah, the conditions have been satisfied as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think a couple of them have been by the frontage, but the zoning board actually deleted them.
Either way, if you have Westboro granting you adequate and safe access through their signatures, you have access to your business. Upton's requirement that access be through Upton's roads, I think is mute because you have Westboro's permission.
Well, we have Westboro's permission because we satisfy the frontage.
Right. And
There's
so
nothing
they
to
can
get from,
sign.
there's nothing to get from Westboro.
This signature saying that they authorize the access. You have to put a signature block on your plans or else you don't have access.
And the signature block has been provided on the plan. You've provided that.
We do this with adjacent towns all the time. We did it last meeting. There's 2 towns involved in a process, both signed the plan.
If they'll sign it, I have no issue with it.
Agreed. Me either. Any- The board, any issues with the board? No issue. All right, thank you very much. Have a happy holiday.
You too, thank you.
Just South Street.
South Street, so you, John Federico from
We
the
had
Area and
heard
Health
of it.
is here to
Yeah.
open the hearing.
Yep, we have to, we're gonna suspend the regularly scheduled meeting and open the public hearing for 130 South Street at 7:12. Is the applicant on the line or in the hearing?
Yeah, John Federico, sir.
Well, how you doing? Thank you. Why don't you bring us up to date? What's going on?
Good evening, and for the record, John Federico with Gurrier and Helmond. We also have Jim Sullivan online as well in case there might be any follow-up questions or anything for him. But as it stands right now, since we were last in front of the board, we have finished revising our plans per peer review comments and the abutter comments and have resubmitted that back to the town and currently with Stantec for peer review. We did receive a comment letter from Conservation regarding a potential wetland that was identified out there, and we're working with Goddard and Concom to get that situation resolved. Currently, we'll be submitting a new wetland report back to Conservation that addresses our findings for that area. And then if we do have to file anything concurrently with Conservation, whether it be an RDA or a notice of intent, once we have a chance to review with the agent, we'll get in appropriate filings accordingly there.
Well, before we move on, please be reminded that all these strange studies are double. There's only one report. Conservation uses them for their wetlands protection, but planning would use them for basements and driveways protection and downstream protection. So
Sure.
we use the same report, but we're looking at a different thing than conservation does.
Okay. Yeah,
We'll ask you different questions about it.
yeah, I'll be more than happy to forward over any reports in that case. That's easy for that.
Thanks.
And then outside of that, that's kind of where we're at right now with things. I know previously with the last meeting and with our full submittal package to include a waiver letter. Not sure at this moment in time where it seems like comments, at least on the peer review side, might be winding down a little bit. If that's anything that the board wants to go over in any more detail, or if this is something that will be reserved for a future meeting.
Waivers are generally held to the very end. I really would like to hear what the neighborhood says. They're the experts in the area. I'd like to hear all of the town boards, get them back, conservation alike.
Sure.
Before we grant away. We want to see them now. We need to look at them and think about it,
Understood.
but that's probably the last thing we'll be doing is looking at waivers.
That's perfectly fine. We did make sure that with our package, we did include this waiver letter for Stantec to review as well.
Through the chair, are there waivers that have been identified that you want me to reach out to boards and staff and ask specifically? So that you have, like as of right now, studies and reports, soils, traffic impact. We discussed the traffic impact sort of at the outset of it, but environmental impact report, dead end streets. I mean, I believe the applicant's already discussed this with the fire department. We've got the okay from the fire department on that. They've reviewed the plans, correct? So you've done speaking with Lieutenant Dan Lazar's.
We have submitted stuff. We're still waiting for a little bit of feedback on the water cistern, but no concerns have been expressed as far as the design,
Right.
radiant, or anything like that so far.
And all the reasons we don't get the waivers, it takes a while to get this information back.
Understood.
And I'll double check on the documents we have on that. Open space to be discussed, there's been discussion regarding the open space waiver, but obviously we'll talk about that some more. I imagine you'll probably, as a board, leave that to the end. Town water and town sewer, there are no town water, town sewer available at the location. Then there's some specific engineering questions with regard to utilities and sizing of components, I'll say. That's above my head because I'm not an engineer. And I did mention this, John, I sent you an email just before the meeting tonight. I noticed they'd included this waiver. And Mr. Chairman, if you would entertain me for just a second, I wanted to ask what your view is of this, whether or not it even requires asking for a waiver. The applicant has shown in the subdivision rules and regulations, 310-12, applicant is requesting a waiver from the requirement of retaining trees within the street right of way. My
I'm not familiar with that.
yeah, my issue with that was when I read 310-12, it's not a requirement to retain trees. I read it as a requirement to note trees of a
Yeah.
certain like size that are within 20 feet of the
From
right of way.
what we require, an area of shade to each lawn. You have to have an area of shade, it's the trees, and the street trees have to be lined when they're done with, X number of feet apart. We have to put street trees with 75 feet or something every.
Yeah.
So those are the only tree requirements that I'm aware of.
So it sounds like if everyone else is in agreement, I was gonna try to bring up the actual code. But it sounds like that isn't the waiver that needs to be requested.
It was
It's
so that
not
they
a-
didn't cut down specimen trees. I think the whole reason we did that was that we didn't want, if we had a tree that was over 20 inches, we wanted to identify, because it may be a rare specimen, or could be an elm or something that is strange for the area.
Yeah, this was the provision, location and species of proposed street trees and trees to be retained with trunks over 3 inches. So it's a requirement to note it on the plan, not.
Because if you left it, they don't have to plant one, but we've never enforced that.
So, the chair, we think they don't need to request a waiver on that.
Not as they've framed it. So there's no requirement to provide, or I say the way it was framed, there's no requirement to retain those trees within 20 feet. It's just a requirement to note them on the plan.
Not a problem for that. I do know, based on our slopes coming off the right of way, we do have some areas that's going to be a 2-to-1 cut slope. We do have a few areas that will be a 3-to-1 fill slope. So just with those projections, any trees within that 20 feet is most likely going to be lost. We have identified one area though, so if we're going back out for any additional survey work, we can definitely have those trees located to note anything of that greater than 3 inch.
These slopes are inside the right of way.
They are outside the right of way. Everything within the right of way is designed to standards, 2% or 3% cross slopes. Everything for the roadway is, I believe, either at the standard 2 or 3% as well, or nothing.
Side slopes are 4-to-1.
Sorry, the grass slope that you
Okay.
have between your sidewalk and your roadway as at 2%.
You have the 4-to-1 side slopes everywhere.
As far as it goes, in locations where we couldn't make the 4-to-1 work, we did have to go either, like I mentioned, the 2-to-1 or the 3-to-1. I can have those areas identified and
I can see-
re-check that.
Do you have a waiver request for that on there?
I don't have a waiver request, but if we need to update for that, I will make sure that that gets included.
Well, it's a design requirement for the roadway.
I know there was a mention, at least in peer review, on the detention basin in the 4-to-1 slopes. Nobody indicated anything for roadway, so I will update our waiver request if needed to include that.
Which.
Or if I can grade accordingly, I'll make sure our updated plans reflect that pretty well.
All right. Keep going. What else you got?
That was going to be it, just for noting the tree portion. And then just for clarity's sake, we are also going to be proposing the street trees as well out there at the 75-foot space.
Yes, do we have a tree warden still?
You too, he's stretched pretty thin. He's your interim town manager and DPW director.
I would recommend going to the town to see if they recommend any specific type of tree. I know red maple's been a favorite over the years, but.
Yeah, we can definitely reach out in that case for it.
Yeah, we have gotten recommendations from the Conservation Commission as well.
Still red maple?
No, for street trees. That's, well,
You know, any list of any you can think of, there's,
no,
Through the chair, it sounds like we're awaiting a landscape plan essentially, right? For if you're gonna be including trees.
I just currently have just a street tree location shown
Okay.
at the 75-foot spacing. I believe it's on our layout plan.
Oh, right,
But if you
okay.
do need a specific landscaping plan, we can definitely add in a table calling out anything specific for those or provide a little bit more detail on that end.
Through the chair, I wasn't necessarily suggesting that. I just thought that that's what was being offered.
yeah, again, you can, it's your call, but it's just nice if you go through the town, and
Sure, we can definitely coordinate with the appropriate parties on that.
they're pretty good at what grows well in the area. Questions from the board to comments from any of the others?
Quick comment. So I sent a couple letters today. They're very detailed. I just want to know when they would get addressed.
I think I read that.
Have a chance.
Yeah, was it about the different things, the waivers?
One was about the waivers, and the follow-on that I sent later on today was about the stormwater drainage.
Okay, we haven't got the stormwater information yet, and the waivers are all gonna come at the end. And you heard some of the discussion tonight about waivers. And it is up to the applicant to prove that it's best for the town, like as far as the traffic study, you have to have 500 cars a day to increase the level of the road. And there's just no way I'm gonna ask for a traffic study for a subdivision under 100 units. You got 100 units, then you're gonna generate enough that you may change the roadway. They are required to do sidewalks and things. If their subdivision is gonna cause a problem, they're required to do it. And ask for an adjacent street improvement plan. But that's with 100, 200 units, not with just a few. So traffic studies, I'm not gonna make them do a traffic study. Environmental impact, yes, need environmental impact. And as far as the waivers on safety and standards and design, it's up to him to prove that that's something we should do. And it all happens at the end of the process. Once we get all know what we're doing, we'll talk about waivers. Anybody else? All right,
Through the chair, before you move on, you have a response from the applicant to Stantec's comments, both in regard to the plan and stormwater, but namely stormwater. And it's my reading of Gary and Holland's responses was, that it seemed to be winding down, like, a lot of their comments were, this has been addressed, this has been addressed, this is pursuant to this section, so that's addressed. Those are the sort of the comments that I expect to see towards the end of the process. Do you want Stantec to take another look at their comments and review and double check and just say that this is done, this is done, this is done, this is outstanding? What do you want?
comments from anything? At this time, my thing is we don't know enough yet. I would like him to read, conservation still has to take a look at it and give him some things.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't we wait until we have their questions as well as ours? Does that make sense?
Sure. Is the intent to have Concom finish their process before you?
I think there was some, the engineering was in dispute, how they measured and how they did what the engineering. If we could give Stantec back what the questions we have.
Mhm.
And give them any conservation questions at the same time.
Okay. I'm sorry, through the
That's
chair.
okay.
Okay. There's been a Concom filing already?
No.
No, there hasn't.
Currently, the
Yeah.
only wetlands that have been
Oh, that's
identified
right.
were the isolated wetlands in the very back of the property. We
Yeah.
would be well over, 300 feet, if not greater, for our closest point of development. So we wouldn't be triggering anything on that end for filing with conservation.
But
Yeah, through the
but to be comfortable, I'd rather wait till conservation has an equal part in that. So I'd really like to wait until,
Yeah, I think the issue though is that there might not be a trigger for Concom to review through their own processes.
we send them.
So they might not. So are you suggesting, do you want to have, because Concom's already received all of the filing materials. Do you want updated information sent to Concom for additional review? You know what I mean? Do you want?
I don't know where they are. I don't really know where conservation is in the process. Have they got everything? Have they visited the site? Do they have all the questions answered? I mean, I don't know where they are in the process.
Okay.
I mean, what have they reviewed? Nothing, right? They haven't got any plans. They haven't got any,
They have, yeah, they've received all of the plans and.
but I thought they hadn't filed yet.
They might not have to file because of,
But they already did file, or they haven't,
they have not filed anything
but
because,
conservation knows all about it.
because they were informed of the application when they applied.
Doesn't sound like we're ready for conservation, the conservation's ready.
I mean, they may, they're as ready as they.
Put it this way, has conservation seen the abutters comments on, or any of the comments that we have on the?
No, they have not received any of the updated, so
Yes,
yeah,
then they could take that and then I would wait till they got our information.
Yeah.
A moving target. If we sent back our stuff and then they sent back their stuff and then we stuff, it's just a moving target. It's
Right.
hard to hit.
Yeah.
Which time of year. Comments on that?
Would it make sense to send the abutter comments to Stantec?
Yes.
Problem is, you know, you can do all the talking, but nobody really knows what it's like out in our little neighborhood but us. And we know what all the problems are with the traffic and the runoff. And so we're just sort of at your mercy to just make decisions about our little neighborhood. And if you lived out there, you can hardly safely walk down the street.
Just to get your mail.
It's awful.
You're
And
talking about the town road to get to this?
talking about South
South
Street,
Street in general. There.
We're directly across the street.
so that's
You know,
gonna be
They abut.
so much more traffic and deliveries and trucking and
How many houses are you putting in there?
4 houses, one of them is existing.
It's difficult to make a person put in 4 houses to fix South Street. That's a town issue.
Put in
well, we
three,
don't
one
want
that's
the street fixed. It's we love our street. We just don't want our neighborhood ruined.
Well, but if he's got a safe subdivision that he's got, it's by the rules and it's done safely. We don't have the authority without, if he's not asking for waivers, we have no real jurisdiction on this. If he's following the rules. If he isn't
So it's
following,
gonna ruin our lives.
you have the most impact is on you. That's why you're a butters. That's why you're notified, return, retreat. You're pretty special. But he has questions to answer. The environmental impact, that's engineering. I saw the engineering. And conservation has not reported to us what they think their drainage system is. Because they're required to, water that comes on the property now, the rate at which it leaves the property has to be the same. In spite of the fact that they put roofs and driveways and impermeable surface, what their drainage study says, or their environmental design says that they can't increase the water, because the water's gonna fall. You're gonna get 2 inches of rain, it's gonna fall. Their job is to make sure that it doesn't flow at a higher rate than it does now. They do that through catch basins, they do detention basins and through different designs. So what I'm looking for is the design. And it's peer reviewed, gonna make a level flow. It's not gonna increase the flow off the property. And if that happens, you agree that's pretty much what we're asking you to do?
Correct. And as far as our design goes right now, we are meeting, if not lowering that rate of runoff that would be going to abutting properties, even with, like, as you said, the extra roofs and pavements in there. So in my opinion, as far as this design goes, this will actually help if you are experiencing water issues or anything like that, because we're actually going to be collecting that water, actually putting it into the ground versus just letting surface runoff, leaf litter and other things that are preventing that infiltration from happening to actually occur on site.
I'm not an expert in that, but I do have to rely on the experts, which will be conservation, which will be our engineer in the town. So I don't have any answers as to whether that's been effectively done or not, but that's what we're looking at. Like you
Oh,
can,
wait, well, I'm sorry, one more comment. I do request that Stantec re-review everything prior to any formal voting and deliberation.
absolutely. I'd like to continue this public hearing to when? We open the second meeting.
January 13th is your next regularly scheduled meeting. 27th would be thereafter. I would suggest getting. I doubt I'll have comments done from Stantec for the 13th.
Well, we were looking we weren't gonna send them to Stan Tech until we heard back from Concom, correct? We're gonna give it back to Stan Tech once we had the feedback from the fire department and Concom.
Well, that was my question. I don't think we should send everything as soon as we get it. I think we should take a look at it and have conservation look at it and send those, because those, I read the comments. They're not gonna, they need to be answered.
Yeah.
But I don't wanna be just back and forth,
Yeah.
So if you guys wanna send the comments as we get them, I would agree. Do you want to consolidate them with conservations and DPW?
I mean, I think the real purpose of this is to have the town's, the engineer look at it and see if there's any deficiencies in the plan. I think it's good for them to have everything so they can look at the whole package rather than, as you said, John, keep sending it to them and sending it to them piecemeal. I just think it's good to wait. I mean, seems to be a outstanding issue with, have you heard back from the fire department yet?
Not specifically on the cistern, at least.
So, I mean, there's a couple unanswered questions here, and I think it'd be good to have those questions answered before we send it back to Index.
I think I'm gonna go on the side of the abutters and send it to them.
Like, so we're gonna keep going back and forth.
Yeah, I think we should send it right to them right away.
Send what to them?
Send the abutters comments. to them.
Oh, the butters comments is different. I thought you meant.
All the information we have to send it to them as soon as, any engineering that he has to review, want to send it to him right away. We'll keep track of it. Conservation, if conservation takes their time, they have personnel issues?
No.
They're all kept, they're meeting regularly and,
I mean, Mary, the conservation agent, should be able to review everything in short order, and she'll confer with the chair.
all right,
Next meeting's the 14th.
13th.
Yeah,
No.
your next meeting
No,
is
Concom is the 14th.
probably, yeah.
So we should probably move it out to the 27th then, if that's the case.
Yep, sure.
All right, so, we will continue this till the 27th of January at 7:10.
And I was, want confirmation from the applicant's representative that you, the board, are getting an extension of the constructive grant deadline to, we'll say, February 28th.
As far as that grant goes, like the 28th, what exactly would that mean, just for my clarity?
So I mean, that's just like, if the board takes no action on this filing, the constructive grant deadline per chapter 41, and then, the subdivision control act specifies that it's a
Constructively approved,
constructively approved.
but we wouldn't, rather than do that, we'd just vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want us to do that.
Yeah, no,
Not right away.
that's fine to grant that extension.
Just a clarification, what are you talking about? The grant deadline, this constructive grant deadline, what is this?
If the planning board doesn't act within a particular timeframe.
Give me
which is
45
why-
days, 90 days, 120 days. It gives a certain amount of time to act. And if we don't have a vote, record it, they get approved.
The law,
Automatically get?
So we have to request an extension of time
Oh, I see.
because it's taking longer than what that allotted time that we have. So they have to grant us an extension.
Oh.
And generally they do because they grant us an extension because we don't know what to do at that point, and it's easy just to say no at that point. So generally we get the extension.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification.
All right, so that's continued, and I will reopen the regularly scheduled meeting. And then we will suspend that and open up public hearing for 58 Grove Street.
Oh, yeah.
they're just in the hall.
Thank you, Merry Christmas. Used to be a lot meaner.
Getting off. I mean.
It's
Soft and soft.
offended, I was offended. You want to go in and start.
You know, when I came back, I go to South Street, and when I, grew up here, it's just, I hate all farms. It's like every single lot is a house. I mean,
And they're still building, yeah.
it's crazy. It's just, and it's still a windy street.
I know. Like 2 months ago, I saw it. I was close. I don't know.
Place to set up my, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, obviously, I got it up here anyways.
Okay, Grove,
Yes, yes.
then the, Brewery.
Yeah, yeah.
He says, well, Frankie, you can remember these things. All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good evening, Mark Allen with Allen Engineering Associates, here on behalf of the applicants who are in attendance tonight with J. Casa Corporation. They have purchased a property known as 6 and 8 Grove Street. The stone's throw from where we're sitting tonight. It's across the way from the Noel Ristine Building, the old library, and it also houses the Rushford and Sons Brewery, which you may be familiar with. So the property highlighted in yellow is approximately about 3/4 of an acre of land. It is in the Upton Center Business District, overlay district. So what the applicant has proposed is something that you may have recalled seeing in the summer this year, where they came before this board and kind of wanted to get a little initial feedback. We've kind of taken that initial layout and gone through and put a full set of site design plans in front of you tonight. The project is going to entail the removal of 2 residential structures on the property. Those 2 structures are, one's very close to the Center Brook, and one is closer to Grove Street. Each of those is going to be removed, and those 2 buildings are going to be replaced by one 3-story building that's going to be a multi-use building. The multi-use is going to be a combination of residential and office space. The first floor is going to have half of the first floor, and about 1,400 square feet is going to have 2 offices and 1 residential unit, and then the 2 stories above are going to have 2 residential units above that. What is going to go on with the Rushford and Sons Brewery is a more dedicated access and egress point. Right now, if you know the parking lot, it's sort of a free-for-all between the residential units and the Rushford and Sons Brewery. So what they're going to do is dedicate an entrance just for the brewery and have its own parking associated with it. The project is in a lot of environmental resource areas. As I said, the Center Brook sort of surrounds the whole property. And that Center Brook has been identified and flagged and mapped. We have also filed concurrently with the Conservation Commission in town. We've had 1 public hearing with the Conservation Commission back in, I'd say, early December. And we've continued it to January so that we can get feedback from the planning board, as well as the peer review from DGT, which came in late last week. So we're going to be addressing the comments that came in from DGT Associates as far as the technical stuff is concerned. What we'd like to do is sort of reintroduce you guys to the project, refamiliarize yourself with the concept of the mixed-use building and the renovation of Rushford and Sons. And what we plan to do upon coming back to you folks is addressing DGT's comment letter, as well as DEP. Mass DEP has some comments, as well as the Conservation Commission themselves has some comments. So there's going to be a round of revisions after tonight's hearings. We want to sort of let you know that, they wish to move forward with this redevelopment of the project. I did have all the abutter green cards with us on our. Thank you.
Yeah. So any questions that the board may have, please feel free to ask.
Can I just ask a question about the map to acclimate myself? And I think you've explained this before.
Mhm.
But on the map, that dark area is where the brook goes through, right?
The brook is,
Yeah, okay. It's just covered.
Yep.
And what is that spiky arrow thingy?
This here?
Yeah.
Just a property line.
Oh.
The yellow is property line. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's a little bit of an odd shape. And this is in conjunction with, I should have rolled back here. The town has already gotten design plans to replace the culvert on Grove Street in this location. So we've been working with
the town's plans to make sure that we incorporate what they're gonna be doing to do a, they're gonna, you know, put the culvert underneath Grove Street, and they're also gonna do a pedestrian bridge on the easterly side. So we're kind of showing that sort of to work in unison with that project.
And how many parking spaces are there?
There's gonna be,
And the, for right.
for Rushford, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. And then, as you know, there's an overflow parking that Rushford uses off to the side. The town is also, as part of their master plan, designing a parking lot to expand the municipal lot to the north. So some of the overflow parking will be in that downtown district, as sort of, you know, joint parking, if you will.
I think we have to count the parking lot for the town along with the parking lot there, which means 2 high handicap spots, so. 40 goes over, I think it's 25.
25.
You get the 25, so I see one there. Is there 2?
There's 2, one on each side of the parking lot. We may either add a second one here or have another one on this side.
We have a commissioner, yeah, on the disabled, we have a commissioner in the town for,
In the ADA.
yeah, we did it before.
That might be the building commissioner. I'll double check. I think,
Why don't you just tell me?
I think as of tonight, yes, yeah.
By default.
Okay, go ahead.
He's not in this room, so you can do it.
Any questions from the board?
Is there gonna be any place for food trucks? I know Rushford and Sons usually has a food truck outside on.
Yeah, so there's gonna be some green space around the property, and whether or not they work with the town to do it on other sides of the, in this side of the green space, possibly. But we're not totally sure at this point.
I can tell you that
Yeah.
the design of that and the whole idea of that is to work with Rushwoods. So whatever they need, we're open to. So we wanted to give everything on the other side of our parking lot, whatever the requirements on our side, give the rest to Rushwoods, which is more than what they currently have there.
Okay. I mean, you could, sorry, through the chair, you can see on this plan a little easier, you see the grade outlines, what's that, 6 spaces about?
Yes,
And then how many are proposed?
12.
12, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doubling,
Yeah.
which is great.
And if for some reason the food truck maybe take up 1 or 2, there'll be the overflow parking on the other side. Of the bridge.
There's also gonna be cornhole in the middle,
Yeah.
just so you know, some fenced in.
Don't they talk about a bridge? For a while ago, there was talk about doing a bridge
I think.
to the community center.
Uh,
Not the bridge.
I'll let Michael speak to that.
Yeah, not obviously not as part of this plan, but the Economic Development Committee is still looking at that.
Okay.
I believe the select board is still interested in it. So we do have plans, I think we go off, but that I guess talks about it more as a concept, but there, you know, it's not been identified as far as like a specific location, but there still is that intention, yeah.
Anybody on the phone? Line? Okay, so, I'd like to continue this. You'll have to take a look at, the review, and get
Yes.
conservation and environmental, and reschedule this for, not reschedule, but,
Continue to the
until-
13th or the 27th, right? It's
I think the 27th would be best, just because I'd like to go back to conservation one time first.
It's a tough time of the year too to get
Yeah.
people with the weather and the
Right.
holidays, so, yeah, make that at, 7:20 on the, 27th. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's reopen our regularly scheduled meeting. Indeed, 20 on the 23rd. And 7:30 for the late East Street Estates. We're going to suspend our regularly scheduled hearing and reopen the public hearing for East Street. Estate.
Thank you very much for your time, your efforts. Thank you for explaining everything.
Any problems, give us a call. We'll help you any way we can. And have a great trip.
we got Jim Sullivan. Wrong place.
This is what we were talking.
East Street Estates. Jim, you're on for East Street Estates?
I'm here.
Oh, sorry, John is here.
Yeah, John will take care of it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
All right, so once again, good evening for the record, John Federico with Gary Hellman, and we do have Jim Sullivan in attendance via Zoom as well. So just as a couple of general updates for the board, we have received the revised Stantec comments, and we are currently working through getting those addressed. Particularly,
I'll kids these days.
You have to be the technologically savvy one.
The leave button is right next to the share button, so,
Blame Lauren.
here we go. All right, looks like we still have everybody on, so, all right, great, good, continue, my apologies.
no worries. So particularly, we're working with the wall engineers to sort out the retaining wall comments that we have, particularly the borings and the additional test bits that were required. Currently, I have completed the additional test bits, and the borings are being scheduled for first or second week of January to get that information taken care of. In addition,
May I ask you to be very careful with that, because right now I'm opposed to that wall.
Okay.
That when there's a heavy rainstorm.
Mhm.
And the water down now has got something to roll over, it hits the bottom, where it deteriorates the bottom of the wall, and it falls down, the town has to fix it, and it's look to be dangerous, so currently you haven't convinced me that retaining wall is the best thing for this town to take.
understood.
So just let you know ahead of time.
Understood. So we will be making sure that we do provide you folks.
Structural integrity is key to this.
Yep. So we have confirmed that we will be able to meet it through the borings, at least through getting that type of information.
Mhm.
If we have to update that design or anything, obviously the structural engineers will have that taken care of, and we'll resubmit back to the town for it.
Thank you.
Outside of that, as far as a couple updates go, we have revised our crossing exhibit that I believe we had briefly covered at the last meeting. I do have a paper copy here. Mike does have a copy up on the board. I'll be more than happy to go over that in a moment. And then the only other update that I had, and I do have just a paper copy just to briefly share. We have reconsidered our lot frontages based on some feedback that we received from peer review. So just so everybody is aware, we will be removing any of the A&R lots from the subdivision as we previously had discussed. And then we're still able to keep our lot numbers, but we will have some geometry tweaks that will be reflected in our next plan set for everything.
If you don't need those, you don't have to qualify those as open space. You don't have to qualify those as detention ponds if they're not needed. They're not needed, so get them off the plan.
Yep, yeah, no, as of right now, that runoff is intended to still be shown in our drainage calculations as it still contributes to that wetland area. But in terms of anything else, we will have it fully removed from the plan set. So no concerns or anything there.
And also those are immediately signable if they meet 81 peak conditions. Those can be actually sold now.
Yeah, so we will be making sure that as a part of that, we are checking to make sure everything is applicable there. Not sure of the status for when things might be sold off or anything like that, but just as an update though, we will.
This is from years on the board. You don't want to sell those before you get your subdivision approved, because they'll move in and they'll be against your subdivision.
Thank you for that feedback. I'll definitely make sure we let the client know. So as far as everything goes here, for our crossing exhibit, we are showing all the way up to the parking area for Peppercorn Hill. As of right now, we are proposing the originally discussed crossing for East Street. We will be providing a small sidewalk platform just to have some pedestrian safety that would fall within the right of way. And then we will be continuing our crosswalk across Rockwood Lane. And then from there, proposing a 5-foot wide standard sidewalk that would be compliant with the exception of the grass strip and separation also.
What about Hopkinton? Have you had to talk to them at all?
So as of right now, and that was something that's kind of part of our discussion, everything does fall, at least for how we're proposing it, with this current update within town right away. And we have confirmed that the town line we are showing on the plan is based on bounds and actual structures out there. So any of our work would be falling within solely town of Upton property for it. We do have one conflict that I am noting here, and there is an existing utility pole right at the first driveway entrance for that Rockwood community area. That is about 1.5 feet or so into where the sidewalk location would be. So we will have to work with Rockwood about potentially getting an easement there or working with the utility provider to have that utility pole relocated. Not sure exactly which is going to be the preferred method to approach it, but that was the one conflict we have. As we cross that street, we will be extending our sidewalk to the next driveway entrance. And then based on the discussion that we had at the last planning board meeting, where that area after that entrance is already relatively cleared, maintained as kind of a grass walkable path. Our intention would just be to let any of the pedestrians, access that parking area through that mowed grass area there.
John, you're talking about like this area?
Yes. So whether they have to move on to that private property or if they're still within the right of way, it's all still grass through there. So that's,
it's like a grassy path.
yes. And that is something, at least from any time I've driven past that aerial images, it seems like it is historically mowed and kept low in that area.
You know who maintains it? You know who maintains it?
I'm
Is Rockwood Meadow?
Can I ask a question? Maybe, so Rockwood, I know Rockwood mows the fields, but they do that periodically, so
Correct.
if
It's
it gets
periodic.
overgrown.
It's periodical.
Is that the same?
Same
as they
situation.
did with the?
Yes.
So at some point that'll grow.
Yes, the conservation says twice a year.
So I guess the point being is that it may not always be a walkable grassy strip. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
I think actually conceivably, again, better, another conceptual, or another approach would be to basically run a trail from the end of the sidewalk into the field and maintain that in some way. But that would probably require an easement from Rockwood and the permission of the conservation restriction holder. And also we'd have to figure out how to maintain it.
Yeah, so when you talk to Rockwood, bring up Bill's comments about, is there a way that we could just end it and then go straight into the woods so that we don't have to worry about the two mowings a year and you'd have
People would have to get to that parking lot.
Yeah, because right
That's where the
now,
path goes off.
you gotta have a stub, and that's it. It sort of ends, and there's a gap between the stub of the sidewalk and the park.
what's the safest way to get in?
If I could just add some to it. So that area to the, past our clubhouse, all the way to the gravel area, is all conservation land. But Rockwood is responsible for cutting it twice a year to prevent trees from growing. That area is also been given to Rockwood to develop into a garden. So where the owners can have vegetables, plants, things like that.
Yep.
So that is an area that's been zoned for a community garden. So it is our responsibility. That area that you're talking about is a community garden. I walked it with the conservation group of Hopkinton. It's our area for a community garden.
So having a trail through there permanent isn't feasible.
I mean, if they were to pay money to Rockwood, maybe it might be, but right now that is the way it is zoned.
But it also sacrifices the future of having a garden there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that would have to be agreed upon with the conservation of Hopkinton, because they're the ones that gave us that. We gave them the parking lot where they are now to get into the trails,
Yeah.
and we got back the community garden.
You know if Rockwood intends to put the community garden there, or is that a,
It's a future thing.
okay,
Yeah, it's on our drawings.
okay.
I have a letter from the Hopkinton Community Conservation Board.
If you don't mind me asking, is there any plans to have like even a path for anybody to, walk through the garden or anything that we might be able to potentially tie into it all?
There's no plans for the garden at this point, other than the area has been surveyed and it's marked where we can put a garden.
Okay. So when you put the pathway through, make them a garden. I'm serious, actually, can you put in, if that's to be a community garden,
I can't speak for Rockwood. I'm just telling you what's,
This is, it's planning board, right?
Yeah.
Just think, trying to plan here. It's a plan for a community garden and you're going through it. Why can't they be put together and you have either a walkway or to the left of it, right of it, through it? But help them do what they do and they can help you, I would think. Just a thought. If,
there's 55 houses. I can't speak.
I think community gardens would be great. I do like them. There's not enough of them, and if they can help that happen, then that's a good thing. May not be best, but might be better. We don't let best get in the way of better.
Is there any option other than cutting through Rockwood Meadows? I think we discussed this. There is,
Down the street, yes.
is that feasible, just going down the street?
We have looked into some alternatives for going a little bit further down the street within the right of way. There is a couple of features that I would like to confirm before following back up with the board on it. But we can look into that further if need be, or if, we're not getting any, potential forward progress with discussions with Rockwood or Hopkinton or whoever is responsible for maintaining our running now.
How many feet between the stub and the?
I believe right now, from the end of our current sidewalk, not counting that driveway width, it might be approximately about 200 to 250 feet to that gravel parking area.
And this is of no benefit to Rockwood Meadow because you guys already have access to the parking area.
We have access to go directly into the trails from our community.
Yeah.
And our community, as you know, is private roads, no trespassing, and we want to keep people from out. That's why they have the gravel area for people to access the trails. We have our own entrance to the trails.
As you can see, that's what we like to do. When we build a subdivision or a development, they have access and we have the trail where we look first, can you get into the state forest from where you are, and we may make that happen, rather than put it in your own. So we're really doing the same thing with across the street, trying to find a way where this subdivision, instead of putting it inside the subdivision, 2 acres, that's fine too, but it's something that everybody can use. And that's what he's working on. They're working on it.
If I tell you my concern was when I saw the crosswalk, if I was coming from his development or from that development and I crossed over, I would just keep going down the street and enter through Rockwood Meadows to the trails. And that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want them to come through our street, which is, I don't even know why they put it on that side of the thing, but that kind of like directs you right down our street. We don't have sidewalks over in that area.
And our intention would not be to have any of that sidewalk project into the Rockwood lane at this moment in time, unless there was, some type of discussion agreement with Rockwood.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were on the north side, if you were angling the sidewalk towards the gravel, then they wouldn't be.
Where's that on the?
It's not,
On the
yeah,
other
it's like
on the
there.
other side of the
It's just
street.
flipping.
Yeah, if you were
Yes, he
angling,
wants to move from here to. here
yeah, exactly.
To send people to the gravel.
Yeah,
Was there a reason that you didn't do that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't see where Mike might have
You
been.
moved Mike just to
Make it
the other
yellow.
side of the street.
I wish I could change color. Oh,
You
yeah, yeah. Look at that. So you're just right there as opposed to the south.
Right, exactly.
Right now, we just figured we're projecting our current sidewalk location forward as that's serving the majority of the houses. The other side, it's gonna be against the budding property. It's mostly against the, wetland portion. So that's the only reason why we had it shown there versus trying to do multiple crossings.
But theoretically, rather than do the dog leg through Rockwood Meadow,
Yeah.
you get to the end of your sidewalk.
Yeah, in
Cut
theory, we could
across, yeah,
flip it,
like
cross
Mike just-
over and then bring
Yeah.
it back across. But looking at the right of way, when we were taking a look at some things, it does appear that there is going to be more available grass for us to use fortunately on the Rockwood side. So that is why we are trying to get it across the street there versus getting it further down along the Amato property and then trying to cross directly in front of the gravel.
But you're gonna run into that grass area anyway.
Hey, well, you narrowed it down. That's good. Appreciate the progress. When would you like this to continue to?
As far as things go, I believe, right now, I would like to just get us continued to the next available meeting. And
13th.
then pending when we're gonna be receiving, the updated design for potentially the wall or anything, then I could always reach out to Mike and let them know we might have to continue to the 27th meeting or at a later date at that point.
Okay, what about us? So we are all set for that?
I was just gonna ask, I'm thinking about the connection, the sidewalk from, the gravel parking to. It feels like the cleaner way to approach it is to ask the applicant if they can work with, if they're able to, if they're amenable to providing sidewalk on the street, within the street right of way, right? So that we don't have to necessarily coordinate with private interests on a private property, and conservation restrictions and things like that. If they're able to do that with the DPW in the future, that seems like the best path forward. Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, obviously, that would include, that's more costly because it'll, but anyway.
Well, that's great. It depends on one of two things. Does the private person that we're trying to coordinate with, are they encouraged with it and they want to be a part of it because it helps them as well? Then you do want to. But if they have any resistance at all, if the private group has any resistance to this coming onto their property, your solution would be better.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, the private group seems to, I mean, you can't speak for everybody there,
That's my
but
homes.
it's, it seems that you don't really want people
You don't want people to come
going,
in
yeah,
to Rockwood
Right.
Lane.
No, it's,
Is there an
but-
easement on the other side of the street that the sidewalk could stay on the same side across
Mike's talking
at the
about.
parking lot? Is that what you meant, Mike?
On this side?
Yeah.
No, I meant on the same side, but just like not into the private property area.
Just extend the,
Yeah.
move the pole and extend it.
So like we were talking about, right, accessing this area, it's sort of, I guess, leaving it as is.
But what if that sidewalk was on the other side of the street all the way down and
Yeah.
the crossing was at the parking lot?
And that's where we were looking into that option as well.
Yep.
And unfortunately, just the way the road is oriented, it is tighter. So you would have less grass strip. You're putting that sidewalk much closer to the road there. And I know has already been expressed for, pedestrian safety concerns with this road, nighttime, things like that. So it is a better opportunity to have it on the other side where there is more open space, to be able to use.
All right, well, we're not gonna design it here.
Yeah.
I'd like to,
why not? You didn't let us have them.
we'll give them ideas.
Different meeting.
But there any other questions before we, continue this? All right, we're gonna continue this till 7:30 at, the 27th,
No, you wouldn't.
13th, excuse me,
Yeah.
7:20 on the 13th.
Well, he'd be the first one on the 13th, right?
Yeah, so far, right?
Yeah.
This is going on 13th.
Yeah.
He's the first one.
Really, 7:10 it is.
And then, if we do need to continue for anything, is it 48 hours notice on that, 24 hours notice? What works best for you, Wayne?
To continue it,
If needed.
To basically, I mean, for the neighbor's sake, I don't think there's a real regulation, but I requested,
yeah.
I believe that neighbors show up when the hearings begin.
So I would say, I mean, typically, like the neighbors call me a couple hours leading up to the meeting. So
I've never called.
no, you haven't, others have. But at least 24 hours notice would be preferable.
Isn't it 48 for the chairman to add something onto it?
To add something, yeah.
Should be the same. as
potentially,
something
yeah.
else.
Well, it would still be on the agenda. There would just be a request to.
I mean, why can't we just make it Friday?
Okay.
48, that's 48 words.
That's not a problem in that case. I'll make sure we keep that date in mind.
I mean, well, the issue is that we're deciding to put it on the agenda tonight, right? So that agenda has to be made, like you are.
No, it stays on the
formally
agenda,
moving- Yeah,
but if somebody, if a neighbor,
exactly.
Well,
So- So
yeah.
regardless,
Yeah.
it stays on the agenda because it has to.
That's once we continue to a date certain, it's on the list.
Yeah.
All right, so you're on for 7:10 on the 13th.
Perfect. Thank you all so
All
much.
right, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
All right, 47 Mechanic Street, so we have a filing for that.
We do.
We have, sent it out to all of the,
It was just received. I don't believe we sent it out to anybody yet. It was, I forget when we received it. It was, I think, last week.
this is a large lot reduced frontage,
It is, yes.
which is a special permit, which is a 4-person vote. You'll be recusing yourself. You'll be recusing yourself. Young man, you'll be in your first meeting.
You can actually take a vote here.
And it requires unanimous vote.
So and obviously, tonight is just the,
Schedule a public hearing date.
yeah, the filing for you to accept, and that's the schedule of public hearing.
Well, we should put on the 27th. That's enough
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So 7:30 on the 27th. Is that okay for us, public hearing? We're scheduling you now.
Very good.
Do you want to do the 27th? Do you want to do the week? the meeting?
27th, that's
I
good.
know one other thing on the 13th.
Oh, actually advertising for the 13th might be difficult right now.
It's just tough to get it to conservation and bring it back. It's gonna be tough. So 7:30 on the 27th. We will accept the filing.
Thank you.
Did we send that out, Michael, or just,
Yeah, we'll give you the notice. We'll send it.
and did I hear Lauren is no longer with the town?
No,
Not this week.
Oh,
this
okay,
week.
just on vacation?
Don't scare me.
Back home in California.
Oh, no kidding.
They won't let her go.
But I heard she wasn't around.
We'll just move our meetings to LA.
Right. All right, have a good night, folks.
On the LA, right?
No, I used to live in Altadena.
Oh,
Is that right?
Thank you.
Thank you. It's
so
actually
you'll
a Bay
go
Area.
with that bill after that.
I saw those fires last year and I said, "You still live?" Okay, and any other comments, questions? Sorry.
Is that it? She left on master plan update, but that we've done nothing.
Yes, master plan update, I've asked her to include a science component along with a recreation component.
What are we talking about?
For the master plan,
Oh,
I told her to get with Margaret, but, well, it's how to do it now. We don't actually spend any money on it, but we, as a plan, would recommend science be taught and used to our kids, either through conservation, through their
beavers, we
recycling.
can teach them all about beavers.
Oh, glad we checked it out. Yeah, there's,
Our beaver tourism at the end of my life.
and, but all the different things in businesses, we have, you know, things that, science tours and things,
Every time you.
have school programs. But the master plan, when we say that it's in the town's best interest, that's, I'm really going by the master plan. What they want. They don't want anything in town, ever. Raise the bridge, fill up the moat, and that's the master. So we should look at it for, updates, to schedule the updates. What I said to Mike, we'll do the housing one, because we've done a lot of shit on housing. We don't have to do anything with our things that we've done with housing, and because we have the plan says to grow slowly within our ability to service our schools, our police, fire. We can't grow faster than we can take care of people. And we do that, good. So the other thing was the roads, done a whole bunch of roads. We wanted to put in bike paths and things, we wanted to cut some of the accidents. We had a lot of accidents in going towards out of town, and the place put in corners, I mean, with the lake. Put those in because we want to accidents. Yeah, that's what's on the master plan. We had a lot of accidents, so we put in a plan of putting in lights there, and I don't know how we did with three other things. So we could put in roads, all the road improvements, and we could put in transportation. Done a lot of things with transportation. You have the vans. It'll be when the roadways, the road will be part of transportation. And vans and what else? Town buildings, town utilities. We also put in something about we needed to upgrade the police station, the fire station, and put in a new library. We did that. Put it inside a community center when we got the new library. But those are all things that we can say we did the last master plan. And then,
Master plan include updating the senior center.
yes,
Yeah, we did.
and we did that.
Yeah.
Have anything about, in it about a new DPW garage?
No. But we did zone parcel right next to the school, said, can you put it there? Spot zone we ever did. We took it, made it a municipal.
What school?
Yeah, like,
Yeah, okay, so we're.
Yeah, just to the,
So we're-
we called it a municipal zone. And that's the only one that we ever, yeah, we do more municipal.
so we have, I just learned recently before the town decided on that location, they had recommended that the facility be located off of Warren Street.
Neighbors did want that.
Well, one of the reasons was at that point, there weren't that many, as many neighbors to piss off.
Was it where Warren Street connects with Hopkinton Road?
Where the woods is.
Yeah, where Pleasant Woods is. It's the Warren Street side of Pleasant
Okay.
Woods.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
What happened in Jacobs?
What happened to what?
John Jacobs' house, the police with the cruiser was there and the